Episode 19. My son is going to get married one day to be a respectable woman, Mr. Jeon said, emphasizing the last two words. They sliced through Taehyung's chest, and you are not welcome. Mr. Jeon is mocking Taehyung. It's Jungkook's life. Taehyung wait in no mood to finish his broken as he set the stick on the box. He can decide that. You are absolutely right, Mr. Jeon spoke in such a tone that Taehyung immediately hated as he decided to go to the estate. This morning, Taehyung repaired his gaze away and closed his eyes. He wasn't going to believe in anything this man said, not until Jungkook confirmed it. God, please don't let Jungkook confirm it. Mr. Jeon, seeing the struggle on Taehyung's face, was more than happy to continue. Whatever Jungkook is paying you, I will triple it if you are gonna be tomorrow from here. Mr. Jeon offered. Taehyung's eyes flashed open and his head wiped back up to look at the other man. A storm was brewing in those coffee eateries. You think you can buy me out of this? Taehyung said, his voice rising. He was seething. Mr. Jeon faked an innocent look. Did Jungkook not buy you in this? Taehyung stood and walked menacingly towards him until he was a mere 2 steps away. Enough, get the freak out. Taehyung started firmly. I reject your kind of. Mr. Jeon's lips thinned. How little is he paying for you? Do you understand the money I am willing to throw at you? Mr. Jeon hissed. I don't want money from a no-good father who thinks he has the world at the tip of his fingers just because he owns a few measly companies. This is incredible. Is he that good of a freak? Mr. Jeon spoke with barely concealed anymore, daring to lean closer to the beauty so frequently shooting daggers with his eyes. You must certainly look good if he is keeping you around. Here is a pause, and you can leave it if you are uncomfortable. Jungkook wasn't as shallow but like Taehyung's head flew to the side when Mr. Jeon clenched slammed into his cheeks. The raven stumbled back, not expecting the attack, his head feeling like it was going to explode. Even in his career, they had never been punched before. You can't show me, right? Mr. Jeon asked a rhetorical question as he grabbed hold on Taehyung's arm. Taehyung winced from the pressure and desperately tried to shake off the ringing in his head as they looked back up allotted. He tried backing up but Mr. Jeon followed him. Make me understand. Taehyung was scared, his cheek stunned, his breath was quickening as the sense of fight, knowing danger was around, was screaming through his veins. They struggled violently when Mr. Jeon searched his both arms. The homophobe suddenly want a guy, huh? Taehyung is trying to buy time, trying to look in control, trying anything. You are not even a man, you are a product, Mr. Jeon replied. Taehyung spit in his face with a growl of rage. Mr. Jeon pushed them both back until they went flying down on the couch. Taehyung grunted, immediately screaming, clawing, pushing anything to get this weight off of him. This wasn't warm, this wasn't safe, it was something was revolting. Get off, they yelled. Do your client do you like this? Mr. Jeon asked with a smirk. The words were cold and biting. Crazy. Taehyung's arms were held down over his head by one of Mr. Jeon's own as the businessman's other hand grabbed the edge of Taehyung's pajama shorts and pulled. That was when Taehyung's expression truly showed fear. Why had they let this man inside? Why was he so stupid? Because he wasn't expecting this, even knowing how much this pushed Jungkook's father was. He never thought it would amount to this. Taehyung had done it with Jungkook, but he never sold himself. All they did was pleasing and give massage, but this was different. This was force. They didn't want this. With a struggled tail, Taehyung backed harshly beneath Mr. Jeon, trying with all his might to overpower the bigger man. The couch was only so big. And with Mr. Jeon leaving to secure Taehyung's hip by crushing his knees down into the cushions on either side of him, he suddenly forced full dressing was enough to make a knee slipped off and side of the couch and effectively throw Mr. Jeon off balance. Taehyung saw this and quick reacted, twisting his legs to push it against the back of the couch. Having nothing to support him on that side, Mr. Jeon gave a short yell as he tumbled sideways, grabbing onto Taehyung's cloth. As he did, Mr. Jeon's shoulder hit the nearby coffee table with a loud smack. The force jolted and the coffee table into the piece of beaten pokey. Taehyung had sat on the bar, howling in pain. The man loosened his hold on Taehyung's shirt, scrambling to get up, his heart about ready to jump out of his ribcage. Taehyung tore away from his attacker, growling. Mr. Jeon was not that easily taken down. He quickly righted himself to chase after Taehyung. Taehyung particularly slammed onto the table containing the massage oil in his desperate run to get there, causing some of them to fall off the table and into their sides. Taehyung knocked even more down with his shaky hands. For the knife that rested there, Taehyung flicked the blade out of the confines and turned around just in time to see Mr. Jeon closing in. Taehyung slid the knife through the air and across Mr. Jeon's cheek. The old man yelled, a tight pain searing his face as blood spurted from the fresh cut. Mr. Jeon stopped thus bringing his hands delicately up to his cheek. In disbelief, Taehyung held the knife in front of him, manacling worryingly. Get out now, Taehyung warned, his tone deadly. I could get you to attempt a murder for this, Mr. Jeon exclaimed. What about the part where the famous Jeon just tried to force a man? Taehyung yelled back. You think they would believe nobody over me? Mr. Jeon said. Jungkook will. Taehyung yelled back loudly, taking breath. Jungkook will believe me, and you know it. Mr. Jeon's body shook with fear as he tried to wipe the blood off. You tell Jungkook about this and this will make sure he is out on the streets with you, Mr. Jeon threatened, and I will do something worse to you if you aren't out of here soon, they yelled. With that, Mr. Jeon turned on his heel and stormed out of the hotel room. Taehyung dashed to the door after seeing him leave, slamming it shut and locked every lock available before he leaned his back against the door and stared blindly into the hotel room. So everyone, you can continue from here. His entire body was shaking uncontrollably. Taehyung crushed, tightening his hold on the knife in his hand. "Damn it!" he screamed, yanking the knife up in the air and throwing it. The blade hit the carpet with a dull thud, bouncing before lying still. Taehyung stared at it, but a bit of red had gotten on the carpet. His shoulders slumped. They repeated, walking over to where he had just thrown the knife. They leaned down and picked it up tensely. Walking to the kitchen, he turned his on all the way to not washing off the blade. Made dirty my knife for the likes of you. When the blade was clean, they clumsily set it on the bar and grabbed a rug, wetting it before return to the solid part of the carpet. Getting down on his knees, they scrubbed the small spot until the blood was gone. Throwing the rug in the laundry basket, he quickly grabbed the knife and headed to the bedroom. He didn't quite feel safe without the knife now. With the more still wrecking his body, Taehyung still slid down onto the cool sheets, breathing deeply against the pillow. Numbed and confused, Taehyung only wished Jungkook was with him. After a hearty lunch and some animated chattering alongside Raya and her father, Jungkook found himself returning to the hotel just before dinner time. Jungkook did not plan to stay long at Raya's home, but it just happened. Jeon. Jungkook's feet slowed to stop when a feminine voice called his name. He looked towards the front desk. A woman stood there, beckoning him to come closer, changing his route. Jungkook strode over to the woman, whose name tag read Amy. Reaching for the piece of paper she was offering. "What is this?" Jungkook asked, flipping the paper over. "Bugum's called, sir," she spoke, catching Jungkook's attention immediately. "That's the contact information," he said. It was important to let you know," he called, "and that he would like you to call him back tomorrow." Jungkook stared at the number in contemplation. "So?" Amy asked when Jungkook didn't move. As if that snapped him out of his thoughts, Jungkook smiled at her. "Thanks," Jungkook said, turning around and continued his way to the elevator. Jeon, raising his eyebrow, when yet another person stopped him. This one male. Jungkook halted and waited as the manager of the hotel approached him cursingly. "Excuse me, but did you plan on having any company while you were out today?" Her next question. He had been bothered by Mr. Jeon's presence here and the entire day, especially when the said man came down to the lobby state with a slash across his cheek that had most certainly not been there when Mr. Jeon had entered. Han had sent a maid up to clean the room, even though they were not scheduled to do so for at least another day, just to make sure Taehyung was alright. The maid had returned to Han, saying there was nothing abnormal other than some foil bottles tripled over Jungkook's eyebrows front. Company, this man already knew Taehyung's presence. Jungkook flashed as CPS green. As a matter of fact, I did. Sorry. I will make sure any guests are signed in from now on. Jungkook promised. He had told Taehyung to call me home this morning. The Raven must have taken his advice and said nothing more as he watched the man walk towards the elevators. Something still felt off. Jungkook entered into the dimly lit room. Only the kitchen's white glow scattered through the air, casting long shadows over the walls and furniture. Raising an eyebrow, Jungkook shut the door behind him gently and slipped off his shoes. Was Taehyung taking a nap? As if to answer that question, something moved and Jungkook's gaze fell on Taehyung standing in the bedroom door frame. Jungkook, Taehyung greeted, crossing his arm and leaning against the door frame. It was a familiar pose, but this time the beauty was not wearing a dress. In fact, he was still dressed in his pajamas. Were you napping? Jungkook asked, slipping off his coat and undoing his tie before heading towards the kitchen for a drink. Taehyung into the living room, dropping his knees on the cushions of the couch and leaning over to the back to continue watching. Jungkook upon freeze. Not really, just resting, Taehyung answered, bending his body to rest his chin on the back of the couch. How was work today? A rather undignified short snort was the immediate answer. There was no work today, Jungkook admitted with a sigh, looking troubled as he poured himself a cold glass of milk. My dear father decided to set up a arranged date for me. Jungkook didn't see the hurt that flashed over Taehyung's expression. He didn't even tell me until I had just enough time to get there. Jungkook continued, pausing to take a quick swing of milk. Thankfully, I sorted things out so it didn't end in a complete disaster. But it was still humiliating. Taehyung avoided Jungkook's eyes even as the man walked over to the couch, carrying the glass of milk, feeling the couch cushions sink in next to him. Taehyung turned around and sat properly, fingers absently running back and forth over the soft material beneath him in short jerk movements. Taehyung, Jungkook asked, especially watching the fidgeting man next to him. The Raven was really either all over him or chatting up a storm. His timidness was certainly not his fault. I decided that I'm going to go back to my family. Try at least, Taehyung spoke. After a pause, finally turning Jungkook's way, the smile he received made his heart flutter happily. Good. No, but better than good. That's great. Jungkook insisted, revealed. To tell you the truth, I thought I was going to get murdered in my sleep if you didn't. What? Taehyung asked, a discreet smile tugging on his lips. The sister of yours, Ming, I don't think she liked me very much. She looked at me like I was keeping you prisoner or something. Jungkook confessed, scrolling. Taehyung couldn't help but glance. She was just afraid to see the same thing happen twice. Taehyung muttered, just like I am. They added in his mind. He would had more than enough time to think things over and to elevate his feelings. He would barely gotten out of the bed at all after that incident. Taehyung felt repulsed to even think about it, but the harsh words bounced back and forth, stuck in his mind, and made him realize one very important thing. Jeon Jungkook came with everything that had torn Taehyung's life apart just years before, and that terrified them. It really was like reliving a part of his life they had been trying desperately hard to forget. The businessman, the people against the relationship, the possibility of marriage. Jungkook turned it down now, but what about the next one and the one after that? Mr. Jeon would not quite hear. The man was proud and vicious. All it took was pulling the right string, pushing the right nerves, and Jungkook resolved to collapse. His need for familiarities, for money, for security, for power would prevail, and Taehyung once again would be left alone. After all, if none of that truly mattered to Jungkook, why hadn't the Burnett left a long time ago? He obviously disliked his father. Taehyung had to face the fact they loved this man. He wanted the best for this man. His current setting was a lot better than the possibility of being on the streets. Look at this man. Jungkook knew nothing but this world. It's not easy to let go of something that has been engraved in you. Taehyung was tired. He would already taken a gamble once and lost everything. They didn't want to do it again, which is why Taehyung would leave before anything even had the chance to start. Unfortunately, Jungkook didn't think much of that statement, nor did he know of Taehyung's inner turmoil. Well, now you can prove her wrong, Taehyung said with a grin. Taehyung tried his best to mirror that grin. Jungkook said with a grin. Taehyung tried his best to mirror that grin, but it came out half-heartedly. Yeah, then I will leave tomorrow. Holding his breath. To be continued. So everyone, what do you think? What is gonna be Jungkook's reaction about Taehyung's decision, and what is gonna be happen in future? We will get to know in the next episode. Hope you will love it. See you again. Bye bye.